Hi, and welcome to a Drafthouse Diary from Monday, December 2nd, 2024, when I went to the Alamo at Littleton's Aspen Grove to see MOANA 2. This is an example of a sequel that doesn't fall into the usual sequel trap that I've complained about so many times. When sequels are done poorly, it's as if the writers and filmmakers decided they wanted to tell the same exact story again, so they undo all of the triumphs. They try to bring us back to the status quo that we had at the beginning of the first movie so they could repeat themselves. That is boring. That is frustrating for someone who appreciated the triumph that comes at the end of a good movie. MOANA 2 does it right because they honor the triumph at the end of MOANA, and they build upon that. Everything that MOANA had achieved by the end of the first movie, every responsibility she had adopted, every next step on her journey that she could envision, that is what this movie is about. And that meant that the filmmakers had to find new challenges fitting for the character that MOANA was at the end of the first movie. And they succeed in that. In this movie, now that MOANA has reestablished her people's place in the ocean as voyagers, as people who go out and seek what's beyond the horizon, now she is taking it upon herself to find the others. She knows, she's confident there must be other people in other places on this ocean, and she wants to connect with them. And then, of course, we get obstacles that are put in her way by, once again, various supernatural forces that are trying to limit what she and her people can do. And what we get, as far as the lore behind that, is almost a Tower of Babel kind of story in which a god feared the powers of humans working together, so spread them apart and divided them across the ocean and kept them from communicating. So it is a very worthy story, and I liked the characters. Moana and Maui, they're still fun characters, and again, they develop further from where they were in the first movie. And we add a number of other interesting, fun characters, not just antagonists, but also Moana now has a crew. So she has an islander who is an engineer, who is focused on making bigger and better canoes now that there are voyages to be taken, and a farmer, and a chronicler and storyteller. And these are fascinating new characters and new roles within this society that we get depicted in these movies. As for the execution of the movie overall, I think that left a lot to be desired. The music was serviceable. There was nothing that I was humming to myself as I left that movie, nothing that led me to want to immediately go listen to the score. They worked fine within the context of the movie. They moved the story along, and they were pleasant enough to listen to. The structure, I gather from what I've read that this was originally intended to be a TV series, and you can see that because it is very episodic. It's very stop and go. Doesn't really have a lot of momentum through much of it. Sometimes that momentum is what is restored by the musical numbers, so they are placed well within the structure. And overall, beginning to end, the story isn't super satisfying, partly because they set us up with this big bad guy whose past deeds and current desires are the main sources of the obstacles that Moana and her crew face, and we never really get a confrontation with him. We get like the mini boss that eventually may lead to him, and we don't even see him until an after credits sequence. So it wasn't satisfying. I don't feel like we were given a complete movie, especially taking into account what they set us up for with the story and the backstory. It's clear that there's going to be another movie. I probably will go see it. I'll probably enjoy it, but I'm kind of getting tired of Hollywood studios giving us partial movies because they know they're going to be able to sell us another ticket in a year or two. I will tell you more about my trip to the Alamo, but in the meantime, if you've enjoyed this, please click that thumbs up button to like it. And if you want more of these Drafthouse Diaries as they come out, please click subscribe. I do one of these for every one of my visits to the Alamo Drafthouse anywhere in the country. The pre-show was lots of cartoons, some music performances, lots of things about the sea and about boats. We had various vintage cartoons about things under the sea, Betty Boop on a boat trip. We had a brief documentary about sea turtles, a vintage Japanese animation about a boat voyage set to vibraphone jazz. That's a pretty cool combination there. We got Felix the cat fishing for a playmate for his pet goldfish. And also a long sequence from some anime about a kitten surviving adrift in the ocean and then being adopted and raised by otters. Very strange, but also pretty cute. The pre-show included a segment I had seen before. It was The Rock Rocks, a bunch of bits from Dwayne Johnson, primarily during his wrestling days, performing music in various places, in various ways. I had previously seen this more than a year ago as part of the pre-show for the movie Black Adam. So I bet we're going to see that almost any time Dwayne Johnson's on screen. And there was a fun Alamo edited montage, an Alamo salute to animals on water. It was primarily water skiing and surfing animals of all kinds set to music. That was fun. For dinner, I tried another item from the limited time Wicked menu, the Yellow Brick Burger. This was a pretty basic double cheeseburger. Double cheeseburger, American cheese, Alamo sauce, Alamo's version of special sauce. I couldn't pick out exactly what flavors that was adding. Pickles, lettuce, toasted bun. Nothing especially different about it, but I'll tell you, it made me realize I wish there were a simpler basic cheeseburger on the Alamo menu all the time, rather than the Hellfire burger, which is uneven but very good when it is good, but it is spicy, or the Royale with cheese, which is more of a big bacon cheeseburger. Just a basic, simple cheeseburger would be great. They can name it after the menu if they want a movie tie-in.
You know what I'd really like?
Tell me.
A cheeseburger.
Yeah, we can do a cheeseburger.
A real cheeseburger.
The theater was comfortable and the service was good, and the service was pretty prompt, especially when you consider the fact that the auditorium was almost full. Thank you for joining me for this Drafthouse Diary. I'll be back soon with more, and in the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.